Well, hello everybody. Welcome. I have my good friends here, Achilles, Edwin, and Gustavo from Lemon City Live. Say what's up, guys. How you doing?
What is up?
What's up?
There we go. This is the
Edwin
newly branded 5R football and Lemon City. This is a crossover episode to kick things off over here at 5 Reasons. It's super great honor for you guys to come on and join us. Thank you so much. For everybody who doesn't know, Lemon City Live, they go live on Onside Radio weekdays 8 to 10. See, didn't forget. 8 to 10 a.m. every day, Onside Radio streaming. And then you can also check out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean. And there's Manny playing in the background. So we have a really good show for you guys lined up. We're going to talk a bunch of Inter Miami. We're going to talk the local stuff, and then we're also going to talk U.S. men's national team, which is kicking off, and we actually get a game December 9th, right where you guys record from. So that is pretty cool. So let's do this. Inter Miami. I just want everybody's overall thoughts on this year from start to finish. How did your train, I don't know who wants to start. You guys can figure that out. I know you guys have that great chemistry. You guys can figure that out. So from start to finish, overall wrap up, give a grade on the season, I'll say, and just your overall thoughts, and then we'll get into more specific things.
Oh, I got to write stuff down. Hold on.
I'm started? All right. So overall grade, I would say like a C. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best. That's for sure. They like we've talked about before, they had like more roadblocks to start your first season ever than any team in any sport in the history of sports.
Yeah.
I felt like they did a good job of overcoming just like, oh, this guy's out with a yellow card. These guys are in quarantine. Or this guy's hurt. Like it was always something, and they did good enough. But with the pieces they had, they probably should have been a little bit better because they snuck into the playoffs at the number 10. It wasn't even like number 9, which would have been like the first one out. And like, oh, well, if we had one thing go different, we would have been in the playoffs. You literally snuck in that extra slot. So it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. So I'd go C.
You guys agree with the C?
No, not at all. That's a horrible grade. That's a horrible grade. See, I got my little notebook here with my grades, and I'm looking at it, and it's easily, what was it, C? Just a flat C?
C.
Bro, you're just way too harsh. Like you said, considering all these circumstances, the most controversy, everything, I'm just going to flatline it at a C. And I'll give him a B-. Not much better, but at least it feels a little
thanks for I was really off base. You're 100% right.
I just hit you with that $1 bid on or no, the $1 over your bid on
yeah.
Price is right, easy, bro.
No, I'm being generous. It left a lot to be desired, but again, what everything that Achilles said, though, the team had all these obstacles. You don't do yourself any favors losing your first 5 in the season, but again, obstacles, gelling, long break, not playing up to expectations, and some guys, getting sick when they shouldn't be getting sick, and messing it up at the end. Those kind of things, just not the best. But overall, man, it was we did something that not even Orlando could do, which is make the playoffs. It's taken them how many years to do that?
Took them 5 years.
I get it that the playoffs were expanded. Maybe in another season this wouldn't have happened, but maybe in another season with people that pack in the stands like we were expected to have, you could feed off of that. So it kind of evens out a little bit. B-.
One thing I always said was after the first 2 games, I was like, okay, the team is not bad. We played good against LAFC and we played good against DC. We kind of got screwed over in the DC game. Carlos Vela pulled off a magical goal in the LAFC game. Yeah. Going into March, what should have been March 14th at home against LA Galaxy with how bad that they were this season, that could have been a win. That could have been a win, and we could have been 1-2, and I think it would have changed the entire outcome of the season. Gustavo, if you steal my grade, I'm gonna be a little upset. What's your grade for the season?
I'm gonna go with a B, somewhere around there also. Right, I'm gonna agree with Edwin finally, but But also,
it doesn't happen often.
It doesn't happen often. I just want to piggyback on some of the things that Achilles said, and some of the stuff that we've been saying on our show since we started talking Inter Miami a lot. And it's basically, man, this team just had so many roadblocks. Like it was incredible the fact that they even played this season. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, COVID hit, and yeah, they lost their first 5 games, but I'm pretty sure all those games were 1-goal losses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like they were getting demolished or anything like that. They were close games. You know, and the first time we played Orlando, we beat them, didn't we? Yeah.
Well, no, the first game we against Orlando was in the tournament. We lost.
Yeah, it was
3-2,
MLS's back. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
right,
okay.
right.
But we did beat
But that was
Orlando
the first
this
ever.
season.
That was the first ever home game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But we
Was-
did beat
was
Orlando
at
this season.
Inter
which is
Miami
the rival.
Stadium against them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we beat the inside
Yeah,
rival.
beat
We
them
did what we
twice?
had to do then.
Yeah, there you go.
Beat them
So,
2-2, and they,
you know, you do that and you make the playoffs. You got you know you got to get more than just a passing grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Achilles, learn.
God.
well, I guess I'm.
Hold on. It's because Achilles is a Harvard guy. He grades more. He's using big words. He doesn't like.
So
to.
you have to, whenever you make that claim, you need to be, clear that's Harvard adjacent. I did not go to Harvard. I did not attend as a student. I worked there for a year.
I'll count it. I'm gonna count it.
There you go.
Listen, man, it's prominently displayed on my resume. There's a big old Harvard logo on there. But at the same time, I have to try to be like, listen, Harvard adjacent.
Yeah, sure.
Fair. Well, my grade was going to be a C+, so none of you hit
There you
that.
go.
I'm in between, I guess, both. I think that there was, like you said, a lot to be left desired, but also with some of the off the field stuff when it comes to like bringing in fans, the marketing, the big name players, and of course other people were expecting these crazy name players. But I think Higuaín, Matuidi, and Pizarro were more than enough. And I really like what they did from that standpoint. On the field, the quality kind of makes that grade go down a little bit. Because it was so rocky all year and it was never consistent. There was only one time where we won back-to-back games, and in both games we used like a 5 at the back formation, I'm pretty sure, and it was just it was not fun to watch. But they were 2 wins, so we'll take it. But I'm going to go with a C+. And then the next thing I wanted to get into is your guys' either key moments or favorite moments throughout the season. I put down 2 in the little notes that I have, but I want to know what you guys like. What stood out to you guys during the season, your favorite moment, whether it be a certain goal or, maybe just the first game ever or something like that, watching with your guys, whatever it is, favorite moments.
Are we going to do least favorite? Because I got one of those too.
Well, we can do that. We can definitely do that.
Sneak that in there too, Okay, favorite moment. Honestly, there's one that sticks out. And then the kind of like a 1A and 1B. I'll start with the 1B, which was the 3 of us got to go to the game against Orlando at the Fortress, and just it was we got the little snippet of it. We're like, oh, we could see what it could be, So it was like we were down 1-0. Manny, stop with the pictures.
Manny.
And he loves you, bro.
I know, man. That's my boy. But no, it was one of those things where we saw a little glimpse of what could be. We were down. Everybody got excited when we tied the game. They got even more excited with the winning goal. That was
Double save from McCarthy in that game. It was a great game.
That was a great game.
very cool. But I think my favorite moment, though, honestly, just because I'm an idiot fan that's been waiting for this for so long. I have a Miami Fusion jersey. I got old strikers. I've been in this local soccer thing for a long time. I'm not the hardcore ultra, but I've been following it. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. So to watch all that group of guys like Manny who traveled all the way to LA to see them at that first game, I thought that was the coolest thing. Like we're notorious for being bad fans, but to see a group of guys, those Vice City guys, and I know quite a few of them.
Guys and gals.
Guys and gals, yes.
There he is.
To see that, I got excited to see those guys out there representing, putting Miami on there, and seeing what a good time. Like, man, I had so much hope waiting for that return leg coming back, because I had tickets that Gus was going to go cover the game, I was actually like, no, man, I've been waiting a long time. I want to sit down and take this in as a fan. I had my tickets bought as soon as they went out. And, with that March 14th or whatever it was, a couple of days before everything broke. And it just gutted me right there. But those are the 2 moments. Little glimpses.
Gus?
For me, being at that at that first actual home game against Orlando, that through onside radio, you know what I mean, that we got to go and experience that. That was great, man. Yeah, because like Edwin said, we've been waiting for this for an incredibly long time. But I think when we clinched the playoffs, that for me, that has to be the best moment of the season.
There you go.
That was exciting, especially in the stadium. It was a tropical storm coming right through.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Exactly. Literal hurricane conditions.
Literal hurricane, man. Like rain sideways, fully parallel to the ground. It was absolutely
whenever we get a sponsorship on the jersey, it should be United States Postal Service, because man, rail heat, all that stuff. These people, they go through anything. They have, they have overcame so many things.
Yeah, I dig it, man. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Achilles.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I would say, like I said, it was really cool to be able to actually go to a game. One of the few that fans were allowed in. And yeah, man, decision day is always super awesome in MLS. And that's the first time where like I had stakes in it. So it made it even more exciting, because the last couple of years, decision day is always super awesome. They do a great job with like whip around coverage. Like, oh my God, this is happening. And it was just fun that, that Inter, took care of business against Cincy in actual hurricane weather. And then the other little pieces just fell into place. It was really cool.
I kind of had, two of you, like you've said both of mine, but I'm going to add another one. The first one is definitely LGP scoring the winner against Orlando in that game.
Oh, it was so awesome.
It was the seats that I had were where my season tickets are, and right behind the goal where it happened. So nice. I start videoing the corner kick. Lewis Morgan's walking up. I video the corner, and I whip as the ball turns around, and boom, LGP scores in the header, and I start freaking out. The video's on Twitter, and you can hear me going crazy. I won't admit that it's me, but it's me. And I still have LGP doing his little celebration dance. That was, that you can't beat that against the rivals. And then the Cincinnati game, obviously, that was actually the first game I got to go to as a credentialed media member. So that was big for me. And then, of course, it was during a hurricane, and then, the playoffs, and watching the players like gather up and watch their phones, things like that. But one that I thought of when you guys brought up the LAFC game, I went out to that game as well as a supporter with my friend. And we were at this bar. I wasn't drinking on the 120, I promise.
Real MVPs, the Mannies, the Austins, my boy Wilson, my boy Buddha, and all those guys. Those guys, man, they do it for real. They do it for real. I'll say that. Yeah. And like even in Nashville, they do it for real. 90 minutes down 3-0, it did not matter. We're yelling, we're chanting. You can't beat it. But we're at this bar. We're getting ready to march over to the stadium. There's cops lined up on the street, like, managing us and things like that. And this black car pulls up. And the black car comes, and it stops in the middle of the road because all traffic's blocked off. And I see one man exit the car. David Beckham gets out of the car and comes out. And I have a vision of David Beckham just walking down the street all by himself with the stadium in the background, with the black car in the middle of the road. And me and my friend are like, I was like, yo, that's David Beckham. Like, that's him right there. He's standing in front of me, and he came over. He hugged all the fans. He took pictures, and he was just like a supporter, just like one of us. Yeah. When you have
that's
that
pretty awesome, dude.
That's pretty. And Jorge Mas almost did the same thing. He came by in a bus, and he was halfway out the window chanting with the fans and things like that. That first game was absolutely unbeatable.
Nice.
Yeah, it was that. Especially as a Man United fan, it starstruck me. Big time. Big time.
Was our first credentialed media game was what, Gus? Minnesota Railhawks versus like the Strikers or something?
Bro.
Wow.
Yeah, man, I don't remember who the Strikers played actually. But are you sure it was something wasn't it one of the like a friendly against some European club?
Oh yeah. I did that one.
Shakhtar, no?
Yeah, it was Shakhtar.
Shakhtar.
Hey, congrats, Shakhtar today, huh? Beating around
again, dude.
Oh, don't tell Manny. Don't let Manny hear this.
He's gonna probably put me off the feed right now, but hey, all right, man, it happens.
Yeah, he was pretty upset today. He got mad. I typed in 2-0 in the chat while I was at work. I found the time to do that, and he was not happy.
That's what's up, man. Faces, man,
I think he's showing something down there. Oh, that's the picture of Beckham.
Nice, dude.
Nice.
What a moment. All right, so enough with the fun stuff. We're going to get into, the actual logistics of the team here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask what your guys' thoughts on the roster are. Recently, they had a deadline yesterday at 1 p.m. to announce whether or not they were going to extend certain players in contract years or let them go. We haven't gotten any word from the club yet. It's over 24 hours now. Don't know why other clubs have done it. We're just waiting. But look, there's a lot that has to be worked on, and I want to know what you guys think is the priority. What the priority Paul McDonough should put at the number one of his list. What does he need to do to help this roster going into 2021?
It's a lot of power right there and responsibility. I'm gonna have to pull out my notes again. What do you guys think?
Okay,
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to start because I think there's one thing. There's two things really that I would say are the number one and number two. Fullbacks, as in left back and right back. Ben Sweat, Dylan Nealis. Honestly, I think we can do a lot better than that. As much as I love Dylan Nealis as a rookie, I think that he should have someone in front of him to help him develop. And then also a midfield pairing with Blaise Matuidi. Those are my two big things. And then maybe someone on the left. Pellegrini hasn't lived up to his DP standards, and I don't like Juan Agudelo very much playing out there. So maybe someone on the left. But those fullbacks, a midfielder player with Matuidi in a 4-2-3-1, and then somebody on the left wing.
Okay, definitely not my answer, but that's a good one.
I actually really like that, man, because one of the biggest what's it called? One of the biggest weaknesses on the team this season was their defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All those one score losses. You know, if we just had a standard defense, you know, maybe we draw some of those games, maybe we win some of those games. So yeah, I like that assessment. Is there anybody specific that you're thinking they might bring in?
I don't see that. I haven't looked enough into what teams have dropped certain players, and I don't know what's really going to be available in the January transfer window when it comes to the European market. But I'll get back to you on that. I'll get back to you.
All right.
I'll get back to you. I'll do a little homework.
I like that.
Oh, Manny.
My answer is gonna be way different from you guys. So
okay.
If you wanna go with a more suitable answer.
For me, it's more of a run it back season and see because the team isn't bad.
No,
and
talent's there.
Listen, the right back position is a little weak. Ben Sweat is fine. There's not a lot of natural left-footed players out there. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And in terms of the midfield, Will Trapp and Ulloa should be enough to complement him. And going in the attack, it looks like the more than that we need talent, they just need to gel more. And then I don't know. A question I've asked is McCarthy shown enough where you don't have to go out and look for another keeper? Because listen, man, Robles is awesome, but he's a million years old, and then now he just had that broken arm. So I don't know how much he's going to be in the future plans. But if they think McCarthy is good enough, that means you can focus more. Hey, we have a little extra cash. Let's bring in another winger or something like that. But right back for sure, you need somebody.
Okay. What do you think about Nico Figo? Before I get into Edwin, what do you think about Nico Figo on the pairing with LGP? Do you think we need to have better center back depth as well with Reyes? And I mean, we got rid of Roman Torres. Do you think center back depth is also a problem?
You definitely need depth.
Okay,
but I think it's more of a system where you're not going to see anywhere in soccer where you have both your center backs, near the other opponent's box, man. They were playing up because they're both really good with their feet. And then, listen, you're going to get caught out of position sometimes. I don't know if it's necessarily their fault for not being, strong on defense and more just that team plays a high pressing system and they're like, you're going to lose sometimes.
All right, let's get into your informal, unique answer here, Edwin.
Okay.
Where were you thinking?
I let the gears turn a little bit. I take what you guys look. Achilles is my go-to. I'm a soccer fan, but this guy above me, he knows this stuff, and that's he gives me those little extra tidbits. And I see you guys are on the same level there.
He's got those spicy nuggets, bro.
Yeah, I look at it. I start thinking a little differently. I started thinking a little differently, and I agree with one thing you said, which is we can never have too many center backs, man. There's a Sergio Ramos was rumored. Hey, bring him in. I know it'll make Manny real happy. He's got the tattoo and everything. So he's that'll definitely work. That'll get some people in the seats. But I really, there's a weird, unique opportunity. Hear me out, okay? Just hear me out.
Oh God,
you guys are probably not gonna like this, but hear me out, okay? there's something that that baseball, the Marlins, that the Dolphins really never had an opportunity. The Marlins could have had an opportunity to do this, and definitely not hockey. But Inter Miami has an opportunity here to really connect globally with a certain fan base down here, a certain Hispanic fan base. There's some pretty good Cuban ballers out there in MLS that, man, it would make a lot of sense, okay? Affordable, really good. My boy Ozzy.
Ozzy Alonso. Yeah,
Alonso. He's out there in Minnesota doing it, just like he's what they're playing tomorrow for the MLS semifinals, right, in the Western Conference. Achilles take. Yeah. Anyway, he's playing tomorrow night, and he's did it with Seattle for many years. The guy's a proven like champ.
Oh no, he's an all-time MLS guy.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
the guy you go after, and you say, "Yo, come here, man, Cuban people, we love you. We got enough Argentines and mate drinks down here. Like, yo, we don't need that. We need a little, some Tua Libre. We need a little." You bring him in here, and then to address that left back problem, man, you hit up Thierry Henry over in Montreal. And you say, "Hey, bro, there's a certain guy there that plays left back who knows the system.
Yeah, man.
You bring him in, or you bring in my boy here, Corrales. You bring him in.
Corrales.
Yeah, man, I couldn't get the name out. You bring him in. You introduce him. You pair him up with Ozzy, who's already they know each other. All these Cuban guys know each other. And I think there's another one in there.
So what you're trying to say is they also need to bring in Adiel Martinez and Dario Suarez. It's like anyone who played for the Strikers or Miami FC that is Cuban, bring them in, bro.
That's a little late. That's a little later. You know what I'm saying? But
next thing, Edwin's gonna be telling us that they need to bedazzle their jerseys, rhinestones.
No. I mean, seriously, think about it. You can make a huge splash. You get two quality players, right? Hey, Corrales is an MLS starter. He played alongside Schweinsteiger. He's played in Montreal. He's held his own. Came up from Miami FC, went to the Strikers, went to Tulsa. Has really the guy knows the grind, and he's a genuinely
the nicest guy in the world.
we the three of us here have gotten to know. And Ozzy is an MLS vet, one of the greats, man. Like that, those two guys. That's a different approach outside the box, Instead of and it could work. You still can go after your big fish and all these other things.
Oh, but it's like Austin said, get a partner for Matuidi, and that's what Alonso can do.
Alonso would be that could really, really work. And I think that Diego Alonso, wants Matuidi. He showed a lot that he wants Matuidi to move up more. And if the not Diego Alonso, he could be that defensive cover. Because I didn't really like Will Trapp and Ujo in that kind of role. I saw sometimes them drop between the center backs, and it wasn't my favorite thing. But I do like Matuidi going forward because in the French team in the World Cup, he was playing on the left side and bagged a couple of assists in the World Cup. Like the guy has talent going forward.
His through balls and balls over the top this season were spectacular.
Yeah, he's an immaculate passer. I mean, it's when he came onto the field for the first time, it was like it was so relieving because we hadn't seen that kind of quality of play yet from the team. And when Matuidi, he just made an instant impact, and it was so much fun to watch because it was not something that we had before. So, and this was after go ahead.
Another moment that stands out to me this season is that banger that he scored from outside the box.
Yeah, on the one hop.
Oh, yes.
Oh man, that was so pretty.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey, also,
this is Lewis Morgan though being awesome.
Lewis Morgan is.
When you ask the team MVP later, that's our uniform answer there.
Oh yeah,
is he already set in stone to come back next season?
I have no clue, and I will be very upset if he's not.
That needs to be priority number one, dude.
Yeah, I would say that's priority
on the roster. Yeah.
See, Mario gets it. That's what I was gonna get at, man. Think about the first time a hot mic picks up. Oh yeah, Sade! Something like that. Sorry, I don't know if it's the first one here or not, but if the first time he drops one of those in the thing there, oh man, the whole place will go nuts, bro. You know what I'm saying? We'll be on in full force, man.
Manny told us not to curse, Edwin.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't here for that.
He wasn't here for that.
But you broke up. You broke up, and you were kind of away from the mic, so I think it works.
It worked out a little bit. And then lastly, last little note.
Language? I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
Last little note here. Diego Alonso. I mentioned him briefly about his, tactics with Matuidi. Keep him, sack him. What do you make after the first day? Obviously, it was super tough, and I'm a big supporter of Alonso, and I've backed him as much as I could. I made a Twitter thread about it. I'm all in for this guy. But I want to know what other people's thoughts are on this guy, because I don't think that he was, not that he wasn't treated fairly, but he was put in an unfair position to try and lead this team. But some people argue managers' jobs are to make players better, make a system that works with the players. I just want to know what your guys' thoughts are on Diego Alonso, and should he be around? How much, leverage, like leeway do you give him going into 2021? Things like that.
No, 100%. I don't think he was set up to succeed. Like, he wasn't set up to fail, but I don't think he was fully set up to succeed. Like, there were already players on the roster when he was hired. Like, that doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean? If you're going to let this guy build a team, let him build a team, or at least let him work in conjunction with the decision makers to build a team. Don't just bring in a guy with players that are already on the roster you might not like. You know what I mean? And also with everything else that happened this season, I think they started training camp like a couple of weeks before their first game. Like, it was rough, So you got to give this guy a full season to really prepare and see what he's got, man.
And I think him I was gonna say, I think him talking with McDonough and like getting players that he wants from the get-go is going to be very beneficial. Very beneficial.
For me, it's like I said, it's like what the Heat are doing. They're like, yeah, we're running it back, and I think we need one real season to see what this team is actually capable of, including him. Listen, I thought he was over managing it like really bad at the end, where it's like, bro, just go with something that everyone knows. Every other game, it was like different players in different places, and weird, like that weird formation that he came out with against Nashville. Like, in that situation, why would you not just go with your 5 at the back and try and grind it out? It was, like I said, so for me, it wasn't his best performance, but you got to give him a real chance at the same time.
Yeah. Come on, guys. This guy's an established coach. The guy knows what he's doing. It's his first year. Like you said, all the things that you guys pointed out, you're absolutely right. He didn't pick all the players. He came in. He's at the most detrimental, obstacle forced season. Everything that's happened. Like, man, just let the guy run it back. Give him this whole quick reaction. Leave it to me when it comes to Tannehill. That's when I get quick. When it comes to a coach, there's a process. There's a culture that they have to develop. They can't just place it in, especially it's not just one thing is if we were an established team, we've been around for a few years and you had a new coach and he had a bad year, you can kind of tell like, hey, wait a minute, this isn't going to mix well. Like my squad Chelsea, when they had Maurizio Sarri and he came in for the one season, good, but there was a lot of tumbling, didn't mix. But here you got two completely new things, new coach and a new system, guys that have never played together, have never, I'm still there. I've experienced anything together. So it's one of those things, like, it's way too early to be reactionary and say, oh, no, we should get rid of them. Unless there's, like, a serious rift that none of us know about, then I wouldn't even – man, just run it back at least 2-3 seasons, man. Let this guy establish. Now, this was Fulanito, Menganito, coach that I've never heard of. Then the leash would be a little shorter. But this is a guy who's, who's got a pedigree and he knows what he's talking about, man.
Yeah, I think unless Gallardo from River Plate decides to leave River Plate, and that was the guy you wanted originally, and he's available, you know what? I'm all for it. Screw it. Just go for it. But I don't think that's in the realm of possibilities here. So, I totally agree. Give him the chance, and let's go on to 2021, kind of running it back, just bring in a left back or something like that, or some Cubans.
Real Cubans from Cuba.
Yeah. No, if Gallardo leaves River Plate, he's probably going to Barcelona.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Mourinho rumor before he went Tottenham that he was available for MLS, or was that Team USA? They were talking. No, it was Team USA, right?
Mourinho?
I don't want that.
He would not fit in an MLS, dude.
No, that would
so
be
much trash.
Oh yeah, no.
Can you imagine MLS refereeing battling with Jose Mourinho?
Just how about MLS brass in general? Like he would be talking so much trash every game. It'd be kind of like what Zlatan did when he first got to LA, where he was like, "This is black, bro."
But not funny. But not funny.
Not funny, right?
Exactly.
All right, moving on to our next topic here. We did use a lot of time on Inter Miami, but that's fine. We're going to go into now the U.S. men's national team, who just finished an international break and are now going into another one, which is only a one-game one, but it's not in the FIFA window or anything, but we're lucky to have it, I will say. But let's go back to the last one. I know you guys definitely keep track with the men's national team. It was quite the. There was definitely a difference in 2 games, but it was an exciting camp, an exciting roster, a bunch of European talent. Not that they're from Europe, but they play in Europe.
Yeah, based.
European-based talent. That's what I should say. It was exciting, and there was a lot of players that people might not have heard of before, like Musa from Valencia, who was just came onto the scene as a dual national.
I'm a Valencia guy, so it was super cool to see not only a Valencia guy, but also playing for the U.S. national team. That's my sweet spot.
So you got the Valencia USA guy. I obviously got Pulisic, and then and Gus over here has got my next
Conrad and not Conrad. Conrad and Serginho.
It's not even a real name.
It is. I knew someone named Conrad. That's why I always say it.
And I think Conrad scored a really nice goal. I don't know if you guys saw it for the B team the other day. What was that, dude? He had a really good game and a really good goal. He's exciting.
He looked like he was he looked like he was playing against children in that clip. Like he looked like he needed to be with the first team.
Yes, 100%.
He was just dribbling here's a banger.
So that's what he's doing. He's trying to make that statement to get called up to the first team full time, bro.
Yeah, and I think he made his debut in the Champions League last week. Right? Yeah. That's massive. That is
a big deal, I think. Yeah.
So out of all these players that we're mentioning, we haven't even mentioned the likes of Pulisic or Reina or McKinney, who's my personal favorite. I love Weston McKinney.
We get it, bro. McKinney's my number one favorite guy in the team.
That guy is just the greatest. Yeah. Okay, who impressed you the most?
Harvard guy that I didn't know. Either that or McKinney went to Auburn. One of those two.
See, I kind of like Gio Reyna, man. I think that kid's doing big things. But also, I'm not sure if it's just like he's feeding Haaland, and Haaland is just that guy's incredible,
right?
And he's notching up assists because Haaland is just scoring everything from anywhere. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, McKinney's great, and these two guys in Barcelona, dude, Serginho and Conrad, man, that's crazy. Like I've been a Barca fan for a while already, and I never thought we would have an American there,
let alone two.
Yeah, exactly.
And one from
playing in the Champions League.
And one from Miami, bro.
Yeah, dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah, man.
I wish he could play in the upcoming game, but that would be really cool to see. To have the
here
whole
I
fans.
know, dude, that's what we were kind of hoping for, but
yeah, I know.
But
U.S.
sadly,
soccer, and their weird scheduling.
Get the celebrity MLS game coming up.
Okay, and then we're gonna go. So the next camp is going to be basically a local-based, MLS-based, a lot of homegrown talent that play in the local league, which is MLS. Before I get into that roster, with the European-based talent that the U.S. men's national team has right now, how many of those guys that are on this new roster actually have a chance to compete while they're playing here compared to the likes of Pulisic, Reina, McKinney, Musa, even Zach Steffen, who are playing in these big clubs like City and Juve? And zero?
No. You have at least 2 positions where one of these guys, in my opinion, can absolutely start. The first one is center back. Both positions, in my opinion, are up for grabs. Brooks is fine, but the man's always hurt. You can't trust him. And I'm not a big Aaron Long fan, and I'm not a big Miazga fan, and I'm done with Tim Ream. So there's obviously that second center back position that's wide open. And other than Miazga, I really don't know who else out there outside of MLS is doing anything.
I agree. I don't think there's a lot of outside MLS talent, but the 2 people that I would say that are on this roster who I want to see a pairing of is McKenzie and Zimmerman.
Exactly.
Both on the MLS starting 11, like the best 11. Zimmerman was fantastic for last year. Was the rock of their defense all year.
He was I watched the game that they played. He was everywhere, dude. It was unbelievable.
He's annoying to not have on your team. It is annoying to watch him play for somebody else and just shut you down. It's awful to watch. He's outstanding. And then Philadelphia also had a wonderful defense. I think they were up there for
the best defense. No, they were the best defense.
Yeah, technically,
the least goals allowed.
Least goals allowed, but I think Nashville had the most clean sheets. However that works, it doesn't really matter. But McKenzie, he was the rock of that defense.
He was the only guy who started all the games.
Exactly.
All the other positions were a rotation, and he's like 20 years old.
Right. So if that center back pair, I hope we see that center back pair against El Salvador, which isn't the greatest talent to go against, but those
doesn't matter, man. Just get them out there.
Yeah, totally agree. And then now I want to talk about the striker position.
That's the other one I was saying that's open. That's the other one I think is still open.
I have this thing going on. I am a massive, not that I'm a Daryl DK guy, but
Mhm.
I was
Super
vouching.
awesome, dude.
I was
Big ass dude.
all over him. Sorry,
He's
man.
huge. He's a huge guy.
Huge.
I was all over him before the draft. I was like, Inter Miami need to take this guy number one. As talented as Robbie Robinson was coming out of Clemson, Daryl DK, he's MLS ready. He's got the physicality for it. Robbie, not so much. He did have that injury, and he was banging in goals, but DK was just this beast who can just body anybody. He has the technical ability as well. He's a smart player. I wanted him, and now we might see him play. I don't know if he's going to play. I hope he does play, but we might see him play. Is he someone that can actually, the only other person I would say on the European side, other than Giacchini, would be Josh Sargent, who we didn't get to see play, who plays for Werder Bremen.
Yeah.
But it's someone like Chris Mueller, Daryl DK, or whoever these other strikers are that are in this local base camp. Are they going to be able to make a run for the starting striker spot, because there isn't really one solidified one right now?
I don't think your boy from Orlando's got like that good of a chance. Like, he's really gonna have to just elevate his game. He's great for MLS. He, like you said, he's got the body for it. It's a physical league. Go out there, bang, throw elbows, be that bruiser guy up front. That's what you want. That's gonna work great in MLS. He's an incredible asset to Orlando. But on a national, there's too much finesse. He's too much grunt. These European guys, are a lot more, clean with their game. I don't know if it mixes well. And there's just, if we put it, like I said, he's just gonna have to elevate and impress so much to be in a position to start. Like, he'll be really, really lucky if he makes the roster as a guy that could come in. But he has the mold for MLS. We already had a guy like that with Josie Altidore with mixed results. That's
what I'm saying. He's the next evolution of Joe. Josie's old already. Jordan Morris is an outside player. And do we really need to see more of Zardes? I've always been a Zardes supporter. I love the guy.
Great hair.
At this point in his career, he's not going to put it together.
Yeah,
he's going to be more of a Wando guy who's out there banging goals in MLS, and then you bring him up to the national team, and the guy can't deliver.
I just don't think that this guy is going to be, if he's another Josie Altidore, I don't want that. I want to see something different. Josie Altidore is great for Toronto. He's great for MLS.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, bro. The only reason Josie Altidore never panned out is because of all the injuries, man. The
teams weren't very good around him. He was always people always slammed him for not being good enough. I'm like, he was doing a lot with not great talent.
Wait, I didn't.
Josie.
Josie was a beast, man, and I get it, but again, like, we saw that. We've seen what that looks like.
But not with this new kind of talent, dude.
And not with health.
I just don't think this talent mixes with that kind of guy.
I think we have great wingers.
Yeah.
And you need a solid number 9 to just hold the ball up. I think it works.
Which, out of all these guys, like the Reynas and the Pulisic.
He's gone.
I'm always back.
Okay.
Pulisic, the Reynas, and all these other guys that are, really making a name for themselves in Europe. I mean, how many of these guys are playing with a striker up front that's like, this dude from Orlando? You don't see that in Europe.
Haaland is a giant.
Nah, but not like that.
He's on the same level.
Right.
Same type of player.
Super skilled and fast and everything. He's a freak.
Bro, I wouldn't say that DK is not a finesse guy. The dude scored 8 goals and had 4 assists in his rookie season.
Yeah.
During a pandemic.
And didn't even play all the games. Whenever he was in the game, he made things happen, dude.
Yeah. Like I said, you try starting at Orlando first before we start putting him up and starting in USA.
Well, it's more about depth because Josh Sargent's
gonna. I think Josh Sargent's the number 9. I think he is.
But he hasn't done anything.
What
for the national?
It's always like at Bremen. It's like every month, once a month, he scores a goal and then he's hurt, and then they send him down to the second team, and then he's back. Like that team isn't very good.
No,
where like a guy like McKinney shined at Schalke, he hasn't really done much at Bremen.
What happened to the Nordic guy that we had? The blonde kid, Aaron something. He made he had a little.
Oh, that was one of those weird Klinsmann guys, dude. Like none of those guys are in play anymore.
Okay, but you remember what I'm talking about? I remember he had a nice little moment there, but I just never heard from him again. I think I followed him on Instagram, and it just came to me all of a sudden. I'm like, that good-looking blonde guy that was out front, man.
Maybe he looked like that.
Put him at the number 9, bro. Hubie Brown.
That's who we're putting up there. There he is. That guy scores goals all day.
He definitely scores.
So okay. Now, might be a long shot, just like Daryl DK starting at number 9 for the national team is a long shot. But 2022 and 2026 are coming up. Okay, 2026 is going to be here. 2022 is kind of, it's close, but what do you expect from the national team in terms of on the world stage coming into those tournaments? I know we probably have a Gold Cup coming up in between there. We have qualifiers coming up where we can see, us against Canada, Mexico, things like that. But in the future, with what we saw in the last international break and what we will see hopefully in this break with someone like Daryl DK, we'll see the McKenzie and Zimmerman. We might see Brendan Aronson play, which I'm very excited for.
That kid is sick, dude.
He's sick.
He's so good.
Totally, he's so good. So on the world stage, where does this team need to be by either 2022 or 2026? Where do they need to be?
Can I answer that one first?
Go for it.
I'll probably forget.
No.
Get out of here. Okay, first of all, I don't like the coach, and I think that's going to really, really, really mess us up. Right now, this is the best collection of talent that this country has put together. Young talent. Still, I don't know. This could be like the blonde Nordic kid. We might not see some of these guys in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But when you really look at it, we got 2 ballers playing in Barcelona. We got a guy playing next to Ronaldo in Italy. You got Pulisic wearing the number 10 in England. You got guys all over the world right now playing exceptional, playing up to that potential. You got so much talent, but the guy steering the ship, guiding these dudes on a national stage, I don't trust for that kind of responsibility. But if we find the right guy, or if this guy proves me wrong, man, we have way too much talent. And like Gus always says, we have the most resources in the world, okay, to get talent, to develop talent. We have all that stuff. There is no reason why 2022 and especially by 26 that we're not not just a threat, but a serious player, a serious contender. This is the window to do it. If you don't do it, we're not worthy of ever doing it. I'm sorry. This is you can't have this amount of resources, this bevy of talent, man. We got some serious ballers out here. You know what I mean? And they're pissed off because they didn't play the last World Cup. We didn't qualify. They're angry,
I remember every other day I kind of remember and I just start fuming.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever cried in sports. First time I ever cried in sports. That night in October, that was awful.
You haven't lived, my friend. Yeah, man. Michael Bradley's and no offense, Josie.
I'm done with all these guys.
Man, this is legit. Man, the benchmark has always been 2002 World Cup. That team, what they did and what they achieved on the biggest stage. These guys are way more talented, have more potential than that 2002 team. You know what I mean? So I just hope it's not that stupid Bruce Arena eventually who comes back to this.
Again, no way, dude.
No. He's not coming
Third time is not a charm.
Yeah.
No.
Just find the right. I was big on Klinsmann, but we'll see how this guy goes. That's my worry. But to answer your question, so much talent for the next two cycles here, man, that I just hope they don't blow it.
Who's stealing the show next? You agree, Gus?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to agree with everything he said. Pretty much, I can't really add anything on top of that, man. He's absolutely right, bro. There's so much talent, and they're all young. You know what I mean? That's why, all these, we gotta take advantage of all these international games. You know what I mean? I think some of these guys eventually are gonna have to leave their club for a week. Sometimes, maybe not all the time, but sometimes just to mesh, man. You know what I mean? Because all these. Just having the MLS guys played next week, that's not enough.
Right.
That's not enough. We need the top flight guys to mesh together. And in 2 years, man, they only have 2 years.
Yeah, it's true. It's only 2 years, and depending on the COVID situation, we have no idea how many games we're actually going to be able to play in those 2 years.
Great point.
It's very scary. Very scary.
Yeah, for me, 2022 is just qualify. For the love of God, we can't do that again. Just qualify, play only teenagers, and they can lose every game. I don't care. Just qualify and play the young guys. 2026, you have to be
here.
If you're not at least in the semifinal, shut down U.S. soccer forever.
Semi-final 2026.
Oh,
At home?
Yeah. For
With
sure.
all those kids, like if all these kids are as good as we think, they'll be in the prime of their careers when we hit
like-
2026.
Korea
Oh, yeah.
made it to the semifinals 1 year, and there's been a lot of teams that have surprised. You know?
Right.
It won't be, but it shouldn't be a surprise. Like
No,
at
no,
home
no.
with all this talent, all this time to
For sure, man.
like put it together. 2026, bro, you have to be in it to win it.
And
Yeah.
I'm surprised. The other surprising thing here is that the hard grader up here from Harvard has such a low bar. Just qualify.
Bro, you're America. You didn't qualify for the World Cup out of CONCACAF.
Yeah.
There is no bar. You got the bar and you threw it into the Caribbean. There's
Right,
not even a low bar to set. It's gone.
Absolutely.
I semifinals of a World Cup at on U.S. soil would be nuts. Well, it might be Canada, it might be Mexico, but I don't know. It would be nuts in North America. Either way it is. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't know if I was.
Have they
That's what
announced
I
where
want.
those games are taking place? Like, do we know where the final's going to be?
Hard Rock. I
Not
know that
yet.
Hard Rock is getting a quarterfinal.
Okay.
Hard Rock. I think they announced quarterfinals and round of 16 and a couple of group stage like things, and I think that Hard Rock was said to get a quarterfinal game, which is
Nice.
huge.
Yes.
So that would be cool.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully, by 2026, we can all be credentialed together to go there. That would
Oh,
be
for
nice.
We're gonna be
100%.
hosts. It's not gonna be a big
Oh
deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know it'll probably be like at Jerry's World in Dallas or the Rose Bowl. It'll probably be some big
Yeah, or the
wait.
what's the one in
Jerry's World
Michigan?
in
Or
New York.
MetLife.
MetLife, that's the one. Probably
Yeah,
big thing
MetLife
like
or what's it called where the Patriots play?
Gillette.
Gillette.
No, that's a turf field. No chance. That's a turf field.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
zero chance that they play
Turf?
international games there.
It's turf.
It's
okay.
and it's bad turf.
Have they not played U.S. national team games in Gillette? I feel like they have.
Yeah, they have.
No, I'm talking about World Cup.
World Cup. Yeah.
No chance
Yeah,
that they're going to
that
allow
one.
that nonsense.
It only flies in the Women's World Cup. That's
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
And again, for CONCACAF, where it's like,
Which is also not cool, by the way.
yeah, no, it's super not
Yeah.
cool. We don't show them any respect. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's where it would fly. But nah, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Speaking of that women's national team, that Rose Lavelle goal, did you guys see that?
she's my favorite
Oh.
player. I have a Rose Lavelle Manchester City jersey sitting in a cart on my on the internet, and I'm waiting to save up money to buy that thing.
Quick. Yeah,
She's
no, that
so awesome. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
she is great. That team has always been great, but
Oh, yeah.
and in my memory, because I haven't been around too long, but in my memory, it's always been the number one team in the world. So they deserve a lot more. I think something got passed today where I think there were some advancements with the federation in terms of I think
Pay increase?
not pay increase yet. I think that they were still going for that. But
Mhm.
what am I? Blah, 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 blah. I can't think of it right now. But they're trying to get something level with the men's national team, whether it be like they're I completely have a brain fart. I can't even think of the word right now. But it's fine. We're done. Look, that's it. No more. We're gonna move on from that. Look, Lemon City, Achilles, Gus, Edwin, thank you so very much for coming on. I know this won't be a weekly thing, but at some point we've got to do this again. When Inter Miami either starts again, we get some good, maybe a Chelsea United Champions League clash down the line, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, he's coming back.
We're not going to talk about Wickham Wanderers and Lincoln City, man. Achilles and I had our notes ready, bro. Air boys all day, baby.
Oh Lord.
I'm so happy for Akinfenwa, by the way. Speaking of Wickham, that man getting to play the championship.
He's the coolest guy.
He's the coolest guy.
Peace mode, baby. Peace mode.
All right, well, that's it for our show. Listen, make sure to check out Lemon City Live, Onside Radio, weekdays, 8 to 10, not 7 to 9, 8 to 10 a.m. every weekday. There's a lot of stuff coming from them. They're doing a bunch of different kind of South Florida local sports, even national sports as well. So make sure to go check them out. It was an honor having you on. And for 5 Reasons Football, this is brand new. We just branded. We're gonna have.
Congrats on that, by the way. Congrats.
Thank
It's
you.
a big deal.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna have our weekly shows on Wednesdays at 9:30. So make sure to stick around for those. And I think that's about it. It was a good show. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
You got a ponytail, or are you like John Clayton? Like you just you.
It's a nice little man bun. It's
right.
yeah, it's a nice little man bun. It's a nice little. You didn't know that, Manny? Listen, it's pretty long. It's pretty long. Listen, it's pretty long. I gotta get a cut soon, but
Let Latucci flow, man.
Fill it out, man.
Ooh,
Listen,
Maybe.
man, I'm telling you, like, be happy while you have it, because I used to have beautiful, long, luscious hair, and it's not here anymore,
Yeah.
dude.
I do appreciate it sometimes, but other times it gets pretty annoying, I will say. But it's fine. I didn't know Manny didn't know I had a man bun, by the way. I feel like he's probably seen it before. But look at this guy. This guy.
Oh,
I just want to ask one question. Achilles,
Yes.
did you kill Grimace to make that couch in back of you?
Oh, I know, right? It's weird. It's like a giant throw pillow. It looks better
Ooh.
than just the back of the bed, so
yeah, bro.
thought I'd spice it
There
up.
you go.
I like it. I think it's a nice little setup. You wouldn't be able to tell if I didn't know it. I didn't know anything before that, so it looked perfect, professional to me. So. Listen,
No, I am
fooled me.
literally sitting in my bed right now.
Oh,
Yeah, bro.
well,
Only the best at Lemon City, man.
Nice.
ooh, somebody said Orlando colors.
Oof.
Oof.
No, I think that's just the lighting. It's black.
Oh, it's black.
Trust me,
Okay.
bro. I'm no thank you
Oh,
with
really?
Orlando City. Anything. The moment in my
like
sports
your
history is still Miami FC going up to Orlando and beating them in the Open Cup, dude. Those still tops.
Sweet.
That doesn't.
Sweet.
Yeah,
That was a great
that's
memory.
Oh, I wish
so
the
good,
U.S.
dude.
Open Cup could have been played this year. I wanted to see some
Ah.
Open Cup action. I was so excited for it, but
Yeah.
Bro,
it
yeah,
is what it
I
is.
start going. We need to start going to some like Red Force games, soccer soldiers.
Right.
Oh, we need to get like so. Me, Edwin, and Gus have been deep in the whole local soccer scene because I've worked with all the teams there and they've
Okay.
covered them all.
Okay.
And we've been in NPSL, NASL, UPSL, whatever, bro. We've been in all that.
My best friend.
Team announcer for a U.S. Open Cup game. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We lost to soccer soldiers. I was the one doing all the stadium announcements. That was
Yeah.
cool. Hell,
Yeah.
man.
That's
Yeah,
that's
I did
pretty
that too.
sick. That is
That's
pretty
fun.
sick. I have aspirations of like getting into UPSL with my own club and making an Open Cup run, but that's for a later date.
All right.
My buddy, actually, my best friend, plays right now for Florida Brothers in UPSL. I
Nice.
think they got
Nice.
moved down to Division II after the Corona stuff. They financially had to move down, but he plays for Florida Brothers right now, and he's enjoying it. It's fun, man. And
Yeah, man.
I go out to games and things like that.
Yeah,
It's a ton of fun.
those lower divisions are wild, bro.
Oh yeah, they are nuts. That's my reaction every time I see something happen in that game.
Oh,
Every
dude.
time.
We lived it.
All right, well, that's our show, guys. Again, Lemon City, thank you for coming on. Gus, Edwin, Achilles, it was a pleasure. Hope to have you on again. And for 5 Reasons Football, that was our little crossover show. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow at 9:30.